TV, the program that gives you practical tips for engaging different groups in workshops and meetings that you can apply and make you much more valuable in your organisation or the work that you do. Today we're focusing on the age-old question in facilitation, to break or not to break. That is the question. There is so much that goes on about icebreakers. Every conference you go to, every session has one on an icebreaker to use. And they're the sort of things that can be really hit or miss at times for groups. And it's something that I've struggled with in the past is, do you use this elaborate icebreaker? Do you keep it simple? It can be quite confusing because it's often that first part of the workshop where you know that you're going to have a clean slate. You've thought it through a lot. If you kick a goal early, hopefully this group will get on board with you.
Yeah.
But how do you pick something that engages participants at the outset without coming off a bit cheesy?
Wow. Big question, and a really important question, Will. And one of the things that I always remember there is to go back to one of the great theorists of facilitation is John Heron, who talks about when people come together, when adults come together, they actually have anxiety because they're worried about performing, they're worried about how other people are going to see them. So you've got everyone walking into the room to start off with, the anxiety levels are up. Yeah. When those people know each other really well, if you introduce an icebreaker, it actually shoots. It can shoot the anxiety level up even higher because it's actually not real. So what we're doing, I like to use the term, and I'm not the only one, Bob Dick uses it, Larry Philbrook uses it, to build community. So when I go into a room, I think about how am I going to build community here? And if it's a group of farmers, for example, know each other pretty well, but there may be a whole pile of stuff that they don't know about each other. So you throw in another question, tell us about, if you could go away and talk about what's important on your farm, you could go away to some country in South America and tell them what you do really well, you've got buy-in because they're engaged. They're actually talking about something they're passionate about. The other guys might not have heard it, might not have ever heard it. So that's a great sort of way. So you've got to think about the group that you're working with. And then in a situation, where people have worked together for years, they know each other, they're pretty much over each other, really. So then you've got something else going on. So it might be, going just slightly left of centre, and that's maybe where you use some creative tools like, photo language or books or something, sort of some images, some music, something else that's a little bit different, or take them out of their normal interacting way. In terms of a brand new group who don't know each other, then clearly you've got to do something that's engaging, but make it fun.
Yeah.
Would that work for you?
Yeah, and the message I take there is make it relevant to them. There's no need to have people make fluffy name tags if what they really want to talk about is their passion, their farm, as long as it gets them engaged with each other and in a good space so that you can start moving on.
Yeah. And do you think there's a difference in when we're working with different age groups there? Guys of your generation, what would work for you as an icebreaker?
That is a really good question. I don't know. I mean, for a start, it's rare that I'd facilitate with people of my age groups. They're not often there. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
So maybe you send them a text, eh?
Yeah, it could be. Maybe everyone just logs in on Facebook and checks in and chats that way. Okay. I know that definitely the way that when I was at university, people really liked to work was rather than face-to-face in a group, they'd say, let's set up a Facebook group for this. And that's when all the chatter would happen.
Okay, so maybe we can make that a topic for the future edition.
Totally.
Okay.
But maybe I think about a good icebreaker for my age group, the below 30, and I put up a link at the end of this episode and direct our viewers that way.
fantastic.
Sounds good. Thanks for another great episode, Margo.
My pleasure, Will.
Always enjoyable, and we'll see you next time on Facilitation TV.